Hey guys, it's Gunrunner7271. As part of my preps, and as part of anyone's preps, is to know their surroundings. This is sort of a video response to MOJOPIN12 and Southern Prepper. It's kind of a mix of both. But this is what I've done as part of my preps. You keep hearing me talk about I have a pond and my water source close by. There's actually two water sources. I'm not sure about the second one because it's a treated water source. They treat it with copper sulfate to kill algae and do algae control with it. But today I pulled up my house on Google Earth. Google Earth is a great search tool, a tool for planning any kind of over travel, so that you can be prepared for linear crossings, such as what was in Southern Prepper's latest video. Um, you know, we're not going to have the benefit of having a computer in Google Earth when there's a situation hit the fan. We will have to know our surroundings and know them well. Okay? So, one important thing that I need to let you guys know is that I live on a cul-de-sac with, I'm one of about 12 condos. And then across this street is two condos. And along the pond are another set of three condos. The pond is here. There's about 50 yards of open area that I will have to cross, including a linear crossing here with a street light here. Now, this is an unmade street. They just dug in some of the city utilities in and whatnot, but eventually there's going to be a street there. They have no plans to build there for the next 5 to 6 years, maybe 10 years. It's important that you understand that there is a ditch about 3-4 foot deep here. And it runs along this line here. This is an open field, and it is usually farmed with soybeans or whatever. Now, this is a heavily wooded area here, and if you go just a little further south, this is my house right here. This is the front door of my house. From the front door of my house to a stop sign at the end of the cul-de-sac is 113 yards. Okay? From my house, the back door of my house, to this guy's house right here is 224 yards. There's a school to my southern view, and it is 835 yards. Now, our mission is simply to get water. We're going to go from point A to the pond, approximately 150 yards, in a situation that may not be friendly to us. Now, keep in mind, all these 12 condos here may be hostile to you. You don't know. Hopefully, before all this is said and done, this SHTF situation happens, I can make friends and form my group out of some of these people, at least on this side of the cul-de-sac. My neighbor on the other side of me is not so friendly. Although this young man has a teenage son who could be very helpful and he's very strong and healthy. He could be very helpful. This house here has two young men in it with two of their spouses. This guy's an ex-cop. He now works for a cable company. He's very strong and he has tactical background. So, some of these other condos are laden with elderly and retired folks. This all figures into taking care of them, and they'll take care of you. Now, you have to make, the critical point here is you have to make arrangements with these folks who live around the pond. It's a homeowners association pond, so we have every right to go there. And it is loaded with 5 and 6 pound bass. My point is here, their back doors are right at this pond. Now, in a hostile situation, in particularly this guy, in a hostile situation, he has 2 dogs that are very barking dogs. They may become a problem. Okay? So, this guy has a pit bull. He may become a problem. In here is a labradoodle. Now, I know these things because I fished there. I know these things because I've done my homework months and years in advance. And I continuously update those by going to my local pond and going fishing. But when you need water, we're going to have to come up with a plan of action. And that plan of action would be, we're going to exit out my back door. 6-man team. Okay, we're going to go north approximately 100 yards to that ditch. That ditch. That is your secure route most of the way to the pond. It will provide you cover and concealment to that location. At which point, we're going to engage a sniper. The sniper will carry a high-powered centerfire rifle with scope to provide security for those people that have to cross the road and go into the pond area. He's going to leave a half an hour before everyone else, at a minimum. He's just going to sit and watch and wait. He is also going to neutralize the street light that sits here. That is his job. There's a small rise right here. That is his job. All this is scruff area and it's very seldomly mowed. So he'll have plenty of cover with a suppressed .22 weapon to neutralize that light. Okay? Once he neutralizes that light, he will go to the other side. He will then work his way down to the corner of this pond. He'll work his way to right here. Okay? Now, this guy has 2 dogs and they bark a lot. Okay? He needs to be in position to neutralize those 2 dogs by whatever means. Whether that's to feed them heavily, slingshot in some raw meat, whatever it takes. The last option would be to neutralize him permanently. But if necessary, and this guy's an unfriendly person, or he's agreed not to let us have access around his property, that's a problem. There is an easement all the way around the pond. As you can tell, there's a line around the pond to where they don't have to mow, and it is taken care of by a third party. But that is the easement. So that gives us about 75 yards of open ground to cover. Now, here's where it gets tricky, and here's why you need 6 men. You're going to need 1 to 2 men to cover this corner here, 1 to 2 men to cover this corner here, and one man to assist your sniper here. Okay, that's 2, 2, 1, and then 2. Well, your sniper is already not part of your team, so you're going to gather water from here. And the reason you gather water from here is because it's deeper there and you don't have to worry about getting any silt. And you can actually tell it's deeper there by this line. There's a weed line coming here, but all this is clear and deep. Okay? Once you get the 2 buckets, the 2 5-gallon buckets of water, you are going to squawk 3 times on your radio. These guys are going to slowly withdraw. They're going to meet up with this guy. These guys are going to do the same thing. They're going to meet up with the team. Here's your rally point here on the sniper. You're going to assemble your yoke and your 2 buckets, and you're going to slowly, calmly walk across this 70 yards of open ground. You're going to stop, and hopefully counting on a bunch of weeds here, you're going to stop here, set up some security on both sides, okay, and then you're going to leapfrog. Everyone is to surround the package. The package is the 2 5-gallon buckets of water. Once you're over this linear crossing, you set up security. Part of your 6-man team will set up security. Okay, you're going to come further down. Someone at this point will switch off with the one guy carrying the water. One of the persons in the security team will switch off here, and as we get further down, another couple of 100 yards, they're going to switch off here, and then again here, and they'll switch off again here, and then to the house where the water filters are. Now, like I said, it's important to have a plan. I'm doing all this by desktop today because, well, quite frankly, it's about 0 outside, and you know, it's just nasty. Anybody's got a house ought to be in it today. Which brings me up to a second valuable point. This was taken in 2010. It's lush and green. What happens when all this is frozen? In particular, what happens when your pond is frozen? A smart man would have an ice auger. He would have an ice auger. Ice augers are quiet. The hand ice augers are quiet. We have about 3 inches or 4 inches of ice on our pond today. Okay, the ice augers are quiet, they're effective, and they drill a hole big enough to get a bucket in. You may not be able to get a 5-gallon bucket, but you may be able to get a bucket for bailing in. Okay, which means your security team, Team 1, 2, and Team 3 will have to be on their toes. Okay, now the reason Team 1 is so valuable to you is less than 500 meters away or 500 yards away, you have a main road. This is a 2-lane road, and it's been here for 100 years, and it's heavily traveled. But your activities down inside the basin of the pond, as it drops into the basin, are going to be protected. So what they can't see, they can't shoot at. Same thing for the houses in the back. I encourage each to make relationships, good relationships, with these houses. These houses are critical to your water security plan. Okay? Now, if everyone in this community, these houses here and down your cul-de-sac, are in cooperation, and you provide them with water or food or barter for protection or whatnot, each and every one of these houses, it may just be as simple as walking down the sidewalk, walking across the thing, and getting some water. You know, we set up 5-gallon buckets. You may want to set up a 55-gallon bucket set up. Okay? And as far as these woods go back here, there's a large pile of woods here and a large pile of woods here. It does hold deer. This wood line is full of deer. So, and this guy here in the farmhouse is friendly to my cause. He's very friendly to my cause. Okay? So, chances are, if I can get everyone on board on my cul-de-sac, I will have no issues with water security other than gathering enough help out of this section here, gathering enough help to fill my oversized water filter buckets. Okay? Now, this all comes under the heading of pre-planning. Pre-planning years, weeks, months, all in advance. Okay? If you have a person move out and someone moves in, get to know those people. Find out what their head's like. It's important. This is suburbia living. The county line sits about 1/2 a mile in my backyard. Okay? You need to get to know your neighbors. You may end up taking care of some of them on certain levels, if not all. This lady here is 84 years old. I take care of her like she's my own grandmother. Okay? So she need not worry about food, water, or whatever. As long as this neighborhood gets along, we're going to be fine. You know, we're going to look out for us. But I can tell you that I'm going to do, and I have done, all my due diligence to be very good friends with these people around the lake. Even though the lake is not theirs, they can in fact say you're trespassing to get to the lake if you take the wrong path. Okay? That path is the path that would be straight down the street and across the thing. That's the easiest path. Okay? 2 5-gallon buckets on a yoke bar gets very heavy, so you're going to need more than one person to help you. You know? So even though it's 115, 125 yards, actually down in the basin of the pond, it still can get very heavy when hauling almost 100 pounds of water. Okay? Now, we've talked a little bit about preparation. Let's talk about weapons. For this, you'll need 6 guys with carbines, and you probably ought to have one of them with a .308 rifle, something that can reach out and touch a little farther. As you see, there's a lot of open ground here. Lots of open ground. You're going to want a guy that is very good with a rifle so that he can address targets as they come up along the road should they attempt to tie you up or pin your team down, your water run team down. On the other side of this is nothing but open soybean fields. Okay? So, I would suggest also in your mission essential packet be pop flares. Not only pop flares so that you can see what you're shooting at, but pop flares tend to destroy night vision capacity on most any scope. It shuts them down for a period of 5 to 10 seconds. Any type of bright flare light that you can throw away from you. You do not want to stand there and hold a bright flashlight. It will defeat the purpose. They'll just shoot the flashlight. You want to be able to get it away from you, but it will also destroy their night vision. Temporarily, anyway. Giving you time to exfiltrate the area and alert your neighbors who want to protect their water source. You may not be the only one trying to get water out of this pond. It is very possible that, you know, neighbors for miles could be trying to get water out of this pond. It's a surface source and they know they can get water easily. You know, we're counting on the electric not being on, so all the well pumps aren't going to work unless someone's got a generator. You know, hopefully those folks will be a better target than us here. Hey guys, I hope this helps. Again, with the weapons, you need the weapons to secure yourself while you're doing your thing. If you don't have a suppressed rifle, call me. This is a key piece right here. Your street light, because it does give your position away as you're crossing that linear crossing. You know, and it may be necessary to go this way once or twice, but it may be necessary to stagger that out as into how you go. You know, you may not want to come through this point every time, leaving a lot of traffic and a game trail. It may be necessary where you have to walk down and around and then come back in. Okay? Certainly if you keep going this way, you leave yourself open to an ambush in the future. Okay? Nobody wants to see that. Also, in addition, getting water from an animal standpoint, water sources and watering holes have been a traditional predator spot. You always see on TV, that's where the crocs hunt, that's where the big large game predators come in to hunt the deer coming down to get a drink of water. So be careful when approaching your surface source of water. If it's the only thing you have, and that, you know, that's the situation I'm into, if that's the only thing you have, you should learn to protect it, not just from, you know, the filtration standpoint of the pond, but you should also be able to protect it from those who want to steal from you. It's a large source of water, but if you have 10,000 people drinking from this one pond, you're going to be out of water very soon. Okay? That's important, again, to have these people on board so that they can report interlopers into your space. Now, this is just part of one video where I talk about protecting your person, your family, your home, your property, and your community. This video involves all of the above, the property, the community being this community. I'm not concerned what happens outside of this picture right here. Okay? I'm only concerned with the people in these 5 houses and the dozen houses down my street, because it's easier to defend that. Guys, thanks for listening. Look for part 2 soon. Use Google Earth and whatever other electronic means you have to do your pre-work on surveillance, you know, on make plans and preparations for water. Those woods in the back of my house can be used for a fuel source if need be. You know, plan on taking care of your neighbor, and that's what this is all about. I open myself up to show you guys how I live and where I live. So I hope this helps anybody that lives in that fringe area of suburbia. You know, we obviously out here don't get a lot of police protection because we're so far out of the city, you know, the actual city. We have some natural barriers that preclude them from coming out a lot. And crime is low. For the moment, crime is low. But when they come across the bridge, that could be a problem, you know. So, hey guys, take care, stay prepped. Again, embrace your technology, let it do a lot of the work for you, and base your plans off of technology and first-hand knowledge. I go to this pond and I fish constantly throughout the year. Okay, I have a 20-foot bass boat, and I still go to this pond much during the year. 20-foot bass boat, pond. Economics say that going to the pond is a lot more efficient than hauling the boat to the lake 25 miles up the road. So I protect the fish in the pond. It's a food source for my family and my neighbors, and it's a water source. So you have to protect the farm, or the pond. One of the ideas later on for our community is to take this field. This is a garden already. That's a garden already, but one of the parts is to take this field and turn it into a community garden. I guess what I'm trying to say again and reiterate is you got to work on protecting your community and establishing those relationships so that you don't have to worry about crossing something as simple as 150 yards of territory that might not be so friendly. That 150 yards could cost you your life at any given time. You know, in a raw situation, that 150 yards could cost you and your entire family their life. They can either starve you out, dry you out, lack of water, or they can just kill you en route. Take your weapons, take your water filters, take everything. So, again, preparation is the key. I completely agree with SOUTHERNPREPPER1 and MOJOPIN12. Preparation is the key. So, thanks for listening. Sorry for rambling. Stay prepped, friends.